What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Hyuga Core Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Hyuga. This is my co-host.
It's your boy, Flu.
And welcome to another episode. Man, you guys loved our last episode. Man, about the top 15 Isekais that we did. Man, they loved that one.
Well, not our top 15.
Not our top 15.
Keep that in mind, because this video, this will be our top 10. But
this will be our top 10.
We were commenting on somebody else's opinion on their top 15, on the top 15 Isekai outright. Or
it's just in general, I think.
In general, I think.
Yeah.
Not out right now, but yeah, their list was obviously wrong.
Incredibly.
And we're going to give 10 of our recommendations.
Yes, we are.
Which some of them overlap, but not all of them.
Exactly.
Not all of them at all. Actually, most of yours don't. Some of mine do. Most of mine do.
But before we get into that, we need you guys to subscribe to the YouTube, okay? We need you to hit that subscribe button on the YouTube page for the podcast, and we need you to hit that follow button on the podcast as well, because we need it. We're gonna, like I said, we're trying to do the anime figure giveaways. We will ship internationally via FedEx. So if you can receive FedEx, you can receive the figure. If you've been paying attention to the show for a while, we have new figures on the table almost every single episode.
Almost, because I think we've duplicated maybe once or twice.
Twice.
We're not going to look back at every one that we put out. We're just going to keep putting out what we like out.
Right. But the quality that we have out here is a quality that we will be giving away. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, when we do the giveaway, that's the only way you can get it, is when we go live on the YouTube. We'll talk a little bit with you guys, and then we'll do the giveaway.
We've got a couple options already, but we'll see.
We're at 50. We're at 50 subscribers on YouTube right now. When we hit 100, we're going to be doing a figure giveaway. Yep. So definitely go out there and check it out. We're just really trying to get our YouTube going for that, and you can watch the podcast live. Well, you can watch the video of us.
See our dumbasses yell at each other about stupid shit.
Yeah, basically. You can see it. You don't have to just hear the voice. You can see the people. So without further ado, one more disclaimer. I'm playing Dragon Ball Z Dokkan right now. I'm number 3 in the local area.
It's World Tournament right now. You only got limited time. You got to make... So, I would be doing it now if I wasn't already too far behind to even make it that.
With it being limited time, and I'm almost number 1 right now. I'm sorry, guys, but hey,
it's gonna be happening.
I got a Dokkan.
It's gonna be happening.
I got a Dokkan responsibly. So here we are. So do you want to start off first, my friend?
I guess I can start it off.
This is our top 10. It's not in a specific order, but these 10 would be considered the top 10 isekais
that we would recommend. Granted, we've talked about a few of these already.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of repeated stuff that we talk about because they just overlap. When we bring up lists and stuff like that.
Yep.
So my first one, I've talked about it quite a few times. I really enjoy this. Only one season. But Aru Fureta, Commonplace to World's Strongest. Now, we've talked about it before. Guy goes into a dungeon, starts eating things, grows super fucking powerful. Gets betrayed, becomes super fucking powerful.
Yep.
And then wins the hoe back. Anyways.
Basically.
It's got blamas in it, too. Which anything with blamas, you're a fan of.
Exactly.
So I can't lie, I am too. You might be rubbing off on me in that scene, but
a little bit.
Commonplace, the World's Strongest. That's one of my recommendations. Not just because the story is great, not just because of the character development, which it has some of the most insane character development in a 12-episode season that I've seen to date.
I agree.
Which in my eyes, I'm a big fan of character development if it's in the right direction, as long as they're not going backwards. So to me, this was really fun to watch. It was refreshing. In a world of a lot of isekais, this was a refreshing one that kind of caught me off guard when we first started it. But yeah, that's my first recommendation. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Also, going to be on our list for needs a second season. Sorry about it. Yeah.
True. Okay, so my first one is going to be one that I've talked about for sure. I think a lot of people know it, but I do think it still needs a shout out. It needs its respect. It should be one you guys should definitely be watching, and that's Jobless Reincarnation. Yeah. I've talked about it a little bit before, but basically a guy that was a slob, lived with his parents, and got caught doing questionable things during his
I gotta learn the name. There's a name for that. There's like a Japanese word for that, and I keep forgetting to write it down. But
like the living in the house, like
living in the house where your family's rich and they just pay for you to be a slob, basically.
Yeah, I don't know.
There is a name for that. They say it in the show.
Definitely let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I feel dumb not
knowing
that off the top of my head, but we're gonna.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about though. But yeah, so Basically gets caught doing questionable things during his brother's funeral. Then they basically throw him out, and when he's thrown out, the basic the
and he gets hit by a surprise Isekai.
The Isekai truck always appears and sends you on your way.
If you guys have seen the meme, I don't remember what the manga's out of, but it's literally surprise. It's a giant truck. A guy's like walking past an alleyway, and there's just a truck in the alleyway. Surprise Isekai, and just slams into him.
There it
that
is.
Shit, I love it.
The Isekai truck is a very
real The Isekai truck is real, and it is fucking amazing.
It is amazing.
It is. Hey,
that's normally how you can tell if it's going to be a premium anime or not.
Sad that the dude died.
If the truck shows up.
If you're a scumbag, what's the best thing that could possibly happen to you? Isekai truck.
A new life.
An Isekai truck.
So basically, he gets Isekai'd as a baby and gets to start a new life in a world of magic and fantasy. And basically, he just pretty much decides that he's just going to be a better person than he was before. And then, born to a pretty good family. So, what you got next?
My next one, so we did talk about it on our last one. It was ranked, I think, number 10 on the list.
Okay.
We said it needed to be way higher. Log Horizon.
Oh,
it's a popular one, I know. It is mainstream.
I think it might be a little bit low key, my friend.
I don't know, but the reason I like it so much, and the reason so many other people like it, and as far as I've read online, is because it is true to the MMO world. You are using the world around you, the MMO world around you, to learn about everything and to progress.
Yeah.
And that's something that in a lot of these MMO style, I'll use Overlord as an example because we talk about it so much.
Sword art,
all this stuff. They know everything about the game because they've been playing it all this time. Right? They know everything. It's just very simple for them.
Yeah.
These guys, they might know a little bit, but they still have to follow the rules of the MMO.
Yeah.
Whereas the overpowered characters, they can do whatever the fuck they want and just kind of play games. These guys actually have to go out, they form a party, they do all this adventuring stuff that MMO players do. Mm-hmm. It is just very true to the MMO game style.
I agree.
And that's something that I really appreciate because, we bring this up all the time.
Yeah.
In a world of a lot of isekais, there's a lot of repetition. There is a lot of repetition. And I don't want to say that they're completely unique because nobody can be at this point in time. But they do a really, really good job of portraying the world around the characters and having the characters develop into the world around them, not so much developing the world around them.
I agree.
So that's why it's a recommendation for me. If you haven't seen it, there's something in there that you will enjoy.
The intro's a banger, boy.
It is.
That's gonna be on my intro list when we talk about the intros.
Fair enough.
Log Horizon. Database, just living in a database. Whoa, that's fire.
It's
banger.
There's so many anime intros that need recognition too, and
banger.
I think that might be one of them.
I think
that might be one of them.
That one's a banger too.
But
all right,
what you got?
I have one I've talked about before as well, but I'm gonna kind of get a little in depth with it. This one is called A Wise Man's Grandchild.
I still need to watch this.
This isekai came out when the boom of isekais came out, and if you wasn't careful, you kind of wash over it like it's one of the other ones, strongest kid with the weakest crest type thing,
Yeah.
But this one is really, really good. It kind of sets the standard, in my opinion, for isekais in a lot of ways. Basically, kids reincarnated. I think he's a teenager. Teenager was reincarnated into a world of magic and stuff like that.
Teenagers are still kids.
And he was reincarnated, and he was found by a guy named Merlin, and basically his wife. No, she's his friend. No, she's his wife.
Well,
no, because he calls them grandma and grandpa.
Maybe that's just the way he calls them.
Maybe it's the way he calls them. But they found him and basically helped raise him. One of the most powerful mages, and they're both like super powerful mages.
Old Merlin,
Well, Merlin, his name's fucking Merlin. So,
anybody named Merlin's gonna be a wizard. Let's be honest.
Right, exactly. And they raise him up and teach him the ways. But the difference in this one is he retained all of his memories from the previous world. So he remembers everything. So he teaches them about a whole bunch of different things that they didn't know could exist and things like that.
Do you think that would be a perk?
Oh, most definitely.
You think that'd be a perk?
Oh, most definitely. Because in the world of isekais, and I'm sure the audience understands this as well. In the world of isekais, everybody that's been able to go, like that's retained some type of memory of science or just the process of how things are created, have always benefited inside of isekais. I mean, let's look
I
at.
feel like they're
let's look
also
at
usually
World's Finest
villains.
Assassin.
I feel like they're also usually villains. So, does that make sense?
Because they're like, well, I
they
can
have
just
a
take
view.
over this
Yeah,
world.
exactly.
Easy. Yeah, I know how to make blamas and shit like that. Like you guys don't know anything about it.
Interesting.
But he uses his knowledge and creates strong OP nuclear magic and shit like that. Remember? I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I think you've seen bits of it.
I think I've seen like 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think you've seen bits of it, but it's actually super good. There's a lot of humor in it, which is really good too, because he's just so strong that he doesn't think about things being
kind of like Kid from the
deal.
Boonies.
Yeah, kind of like Kids from the Boonies. Like he makes in this he makes an armor for himself, and he's like, oh, I just made it out of stuff I could find. Well, then he needs it to get repaired, and he gives it to somebody. And they're like, dude, we can't fuck with this. This is national treasure level. He's like, oh, it is? And they're like, yeah. Like, dude, there's literally. First of all, where did you get this? And then he's like, I'll just take that back. You don't need to know that.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Well, that about wraps that up. So that's Wise Man's Grandchild. Definitely a hot recommendation. So what do you got?
That's something I gotta see still.
Yeah.
So my next one. I haven't finished it. I'm a couple episodes away. I need to finish it, but it still makes my fucking recommendation list. So that should tell you something.
That's a big deal.
That should tell you something.
That's a big deal.
We talked about it last episode.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about it in depth yet, but it was on our recommendations, our first video, but it's going to be Konosuba.
Oh.
Konosuba. One of your favorites.
It is.
And I'm sorry to take it, but
it's fine.
I've been watching the episodes, so I feel like I got to... Yeah. It's just on the mind.
It's
so
hilarious.
It is so fucking funny.
It's hilarious.
It's by far the funniest Isekai. It's the funniest anime that I've seen so far. I think. Honestly, I'm trying to think of something.
I'd give it that.
I'm trying to think of something that might be better. There's a lot of humor in other anime and stuff, but like every fucking thing in Konosuba is funny.
I agree.
But it's not necessarily meant to be funny. Like it's meant to be part of the story, progress the story and everything.
Yeah.
But it just turns into humor. It's funny the way they execute it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons that I like it so much is even if the story, there's some times that the story might not stick in place, but it does with the fucking humor. It does with the humor. And it's it's one of those things that it makes it's just, I don't know, man. It's just a very fun watch. Every time that I'm watching it, every episode, I'm never wanting to look away. Like when I'm watching other stuff, I want to look at my phone, do something else sometimes. I'll have another screen open maybe.
Right.
But like Konosuba, I'm like, I got to pay attention because like this shit's going to make me laugh. And I got to know what they're saying so that, So
the main character is so fucking funny, dude.
Funny, dude. All of them are really funny, dude.
Yeah, they are.
It's just
they all have their weird quirks.
They're weird quirks. That's what it is. They have weird quirks, not my hero quirks, but
That's what you did there.
But yeah, they're quirky, they're funny, they're powerful.
Well, you guys want to know where Megami and Explosion came from?
Yeah,
that came from Konosuba.
That came from Konosuba.
So if you've ever seen those memes with
Explosion,
that's from Konosuba.
Yes.
So
so funny. But that's
hilarious.
Another recommendation for me. I don't want to get too much into the story because I will absolutely just start spoiling shit, and I need to avoid that. So that's about all I can say about it right now. But it is easily, I mean, in my eyes, the funniest anime I've ever seen. So it's got to be on my recommendation list.
Okay. So what I have is Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody.
Another one
as a must-see, must-watch isekai. Death March Parallel to Rhapsody is it's a isekai about video game creator, and he writes the code to the video game. He eats, sleeps, and basically lives inside of his office. He goes home every now and then, but he basically lives in his office, kind of like a Blizzard dev. and
when I'm fucking drinking, Joe, you got to make an Activision Blizzard joke when I'm drinking, bro.
My bad, bro. But yeah. So what happens is he falls asleep. I think he dies technically, but he falls asleep at his desk underneath. I think he's inside of a beanbag that he was sleeping in.
The beanbag chair.
That's beanbag chair, sleeping bag thing. He falls asleep and then he wakes up in his game.
Yes.
He realizes he has all of his admin rights and everything else to the game.
Kind of like Overlord, but a little bit.
But as a developer,
exactly, a little bit more extensive.
Level. Yeah, my man can look at the code and shit.
Yep.
So it's very hilarious.
He can change the world in which he lives in.
Which is very cool.
Very cool.
And since he created the game for the most part, I'm gonna say he created I think he said 80 or 90% of the game. it's very funny to like see like things that happen. But what he doesn't know, what he doesn't know is there's parts of the game he didn't program right, and so he doesn't understand those parts. So, for example, there's titles in the game, and he didn't do anything to do with the titles, so he doesn't know that you need certain titles to do certain things.
Yes, which is so fucking funny because he's like, I made this. Why can I not access it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then he has to go into the fucking code. And then, why do I need this title? So I got to go back and do all this other stuff.
Exactly.
Just so that I can come to here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Another funny one, honestly.
And it's
serious but funny parts.
He's got a good main. He's a good main character. He's got good sub characters with him that aren't annoying or anything like that. And then it's just a good anime. The animation's good. I like it. I think it's a must see for you guys for a top 10. What you got?
So, my number 4.
Yep.
Not in order, obviously, but number 4 that I'm mentioning. We talked about it very recently. Grimgar, Fantasy, and Ash. We talked about it very recently.
We did,
because we just watched it.
We did an episode on it. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check out that episode on the podcast.
But that went on my recommendation list pretty much immediately because complacency. It'll teach you a lot about fucking complacency.
It really will.
This is one that, I mean, I'm a big fan of the fighting anime. That's my go-to. Anything that has, sword and board, a little bit of blamas, a little bit of magic, any of that stuff. I like all the action.
I like magic blamas.
Exactly. Magic blamas.
Yeah. Arafuda.
Exactly. But this one takes it back a little bit. This is a little bit more of a basic combat anime.
I agree.
And that's like, again, something we don't see very often. We see a lot of very overpowered people, or we see people that start off weak and then grow to be overpowered.
That's true.
These guys, you have to learn the skills. Mm-hmm. You need to get gold to learn skills. You're basically... I said this with Log Horizon. It's as true to an MMO as possible. This might be a little bit more true to an MMO, honestly, than possible.
An Isekai MMO.
An Isekai MMO.
Yeah. They were poor in most of the series.
Exactly. I mean, until the very end when they ended up wiping out,
things.
Yes, things.
Things.
Yes, things. I almost...
things.
We got a little close. Yeah, we got a little close.
I got you. Things.
Because this is a no spoiler because we want you guys to go watch this, but for the most part, no spoiler, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is another one where the character development's what kind of drew me in here.
Yeah.
And you see it very early on, and it's
5 characters, right?
5. I think there might be more.
I think there might be 5 or 6. What did you got
6 or 7 total. Yeah, I think it's 6, right? Cleric. 6, and then there was 7, but
Yeah.
But this is like, this was a really good anime for me to watch to kind of take a step back from the overpowered overlord, just all this stuff that we've been watching recently.
That's fair.
And it helped open my eyes a little bit to other anime, I think, because in this way, it really helped me see the importance of, like, when you build a story in a world around characters, you have to have those characters pretty much explore and learn everything. And you have to show it.
Yep.
They like to skip things in anime, like skipping training montages, all this stuff. They do skip a little bit of time in this one, but it's not in a way that takes away from the development of the characters' abilities or camaraderie, their teamwork, anything like that.
I'd say a majority of this anime, in my opinion, was basically character development.
Yes.
Really good.
And that's something that I really enjoy. Again, not going backwards, going forwards, which this is going forwards for the most part.
Yeah.
Some things I would like to see differently, but it's got to be a recommendation for me because we got one season, we need more, and
definitely need more.
It's something that I think could really grow really well, and so that's why it's on my recommendation list. But
that's a good choice. And like you said, if you haven't seen the episode that we talk about the anime, definitely go check it out. It's on our Grimorph Ashen Illusions.
Ashen Illusions, but they say on Crunchyroll
that's a different name.
It's a different name. Sorry about it. Don't blame Crunchy. I don't know.
Yeah, they have a different name for it on Crunchy. So
yeah, on Crunchy it's Fantasy and Ash, Grimgar, Fantasy and Ash, but it's
actually
Ashes and Illusions. Yeah.
Yep. So for mine, I got I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. When I first saw this anime, I thought it was going to be Dookie Dog because Dude,
This is why we give 3 episodes.
This is why we give 3 episode chances. This is exactly why we give 3 episode chances. And if you're not doing that, I would definitely recommend it. Because I thought it was gonna be bad. The title,
it's
everything
a rough
that
title.
I saw.
It's a rough title.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't gonna amount to much, but I ended up being wrong, honestly. So basically, we have another office worker style chick, right? And she's just like work.
Yep.
And Japanese have a name for it where you work yourself to death.
We got to know these names.
I don't know what the name of that is, but I named one of my weapons that in Warframe.
Yeah, I know.
I had to grind so much to get it.
And you had to die a lot, too.
I had to die a lot, so I named my Warframe weapon that name. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, she dies at her desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, from literally overworking. So she gets reincarnated. She kind of runs into the god or the person who sorts people out.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you died like way early from literally just
why
overworking
are you dead?
yourself. Like, yeah, like so.
You weren't supposed to be dead yet.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a chance here. What do you want to do? And she's like, well, honestly, I just want a life where I literally don't have to do anything. I can relax and just live my life. And they're like, we can do that.
It's kind of ironic.
Yeah, we can do that. And they're like, okay, well, we can definitely set that up for you. And so then she gets transported to this. She gets Isekai to this world, and she's basically living her life. And she kills a slime a day.
Not thinking anything of it.
Without thinking anything of it, because you need money. You need money and stuff like that. So she kills slime a day, gets a little thing, and turns it in just for enough for food and just relaxing. And then later on, you find out that she's a fucking god.
Yeah, because when you kill slimes consecutively for 300 years, you just become OP. Apparently, nobody else has ever figured that out.
Nobody
in this world.
Yeah. Well, and what she didn't. Well, because part of it she didn't know is that her life, she was
tied to the fuck. What is it?
No, she got an extended life period because they didn't want her to die. So she's
It's not immortality. It's like extended life. I guess.
You might as well call it extended life.
Yeah, I don't know what else.
She doesn't age like anything else. Yeah. Like, because remember, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah. Because she can still die and all this other stuff, but
she can still die and stuff.
Yeah,
but
it's very much.
Because remember the village she's in, she's like, I've seen that kid grow up.
Yeah.
I remember your grandparents and stuff.
And they're like, well, you must be the great granddaughter of so.
Or they're like, oh, you're the witch of the forest.
Yeah.
Slime witch. So definitely go check that out. It's called I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 years and now I've maxed out my level. All right, Flu, what you got?
My last one. All right. Again, we've talked about this one a couple times too. But I feel like when we keep talking about things, that should be a testament to how fucking much we like them or how good they are.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And this one's World's Finest Assassin. I mean, this can't not be on a recommendation list, even if not for any anime. This is on my all-time recommendation list because Lou is just a badass. He's a bad motherfucker, and he plays people like a fucking fiddle, and it is so fun to watch.
He is good.
Not as much.
You talk how I got Isekai?
You
think that's a spoiler to the show?
I think it might be a little bit of a spoiler. Do you not? I think
the only thing you could really say is what his profession was.
He was an aristocrat. He was a rich guy, basically. That, like.
Well, and when he got Isekai, he was. But I'm saying his life before he got Isekai.
Oh, when he was an assassin.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about when he was an assassin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you forget that so fast because the way it just transitions so smoothly.
It's so fucking smooth.
Yeah.
And it's not that you forget it. It's that it plays in the story so well because it's just constantly being shown that it's like he still is.
Yeah.
This is one of those where you retain the memories. This is why I asked, do you think it's more powerful to retain your memories?
Oh.
Because everybody that does is so fucking overpowered.
Yeah.
I can't.
I think it's because of the time period in which they get transferred to.
It could be because they have all the knowledge of that time period and the modern world that they came from. So that could be the OP part of it, but it's showcased so much in this show.
It is.
Like his past life is the main life, even though he's living a new life.
Basically.
What?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he has to deal with, real strong motherfuckers that have. I don't want.
He's tasked. Yeah, you can say what he's tasked with without spoiling it. unless you
that
think
ruins
unless you,
that ruins
yeah,
the ending though. That ruins the ending.
Yeah, I guess
I
you
keep
know,
like
yeah,
stuff
right,
keeps
right.
popping up,
You're
and I
right.
want to say it, but I don't. I can't ruin it for you guys.
You're right, bro.
And I feel like I'm butchering this one, but either way,
Right.
World's Finest Assassin, Lou. It's got the character development's not necessarily there because he's already developed.
Yeah.
Very developed.
Yeah, but he develops Tart though.
My man gets a little.
Best girl.
Yeah. That is fun to watch. That was fun to watch.
Best girl.
That I wasn't expecting a lot of things in this anime to happen that happened, and I think that's what kind of draws me towards it a little bit more. Because if I can see what's going to happen ahead of time, I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
For the most part, this one you can definitely see some things that'll happen, but like, it's also very much like he's an assassin, so you're not meant to know.
Right.
And that's part of it. Or he was an assassin. Tart's jeez. But he was an assassin, I guess you should say. Or I should say, but. Yeah, when that skill set carries over to a new world, that's an advantage in itself.
I agree completely.
But yeah, that's my recommendation. You guys definitely have to check that one out. Like I said, it's on my all-time recommendation list, not just my Isekais. It would probably be number 1 on my Isekai list of recommendations if we did it in order. But since we didn't, put it there at last just to give you something to wait for.
Sounds good.
What you got? Numero 5.
So my last one here I have is one that I never thought that I would like ever, because I'm not a big fan of the animal.
We haven't talked about this one much, have we?
No, we haven't.
It's not an animal. Don't call it an animal. It's an invertebrate.
Well, an invertebrate.
It's a piece of shit. Either way, so useful. But
I'm not a fan to its existence. But the Isekai I want to talk about is I'm a spider, or so I'm a spider. So what? I don't bang with spiders at all. Not a spider fan.
You and me both.
So when I was recommended to watch this anime by a friend of mine, I won't say his name, but his initials are Flippin', and he tells me to watch this. I was like, bro, I am not watching that shit. That shit is trash. He's like, no, it's not, man. I'm like, bro, I'm not watching anybody being isekai until it's a spider. Like, that's not my thing. He's like, just give it a chance.
Dude, I struggled with the spiders and Demon Slayer. Like,
right.
Like, that was enough for me.
You're like, nah.
I was already, my boy. Oh.
So, I gave it a chance. And I will tell you that, wow, it is actually quite extraordinarily amazing isekai. Basically, a group of students get isekai'd all at once in their classroom. Still don't know.
That's a big bus.
Yeah, it's still
a big truck.
Still don't. I'm not gonna explain to you what happens, but they all get isekai'd all together, and half of her class, well, basically all of her class, with the exception of like 5, get isekai'd as heroes at this kingdom, and their job is to help the kingdom fight against the other monsters and stuff like that of the kingdom. And come to find out, not everybody was reincarnated as heroes. One of the chicks in their class was reincarnated as a spider, and she's reincarnated. Not only is she reincarnated as a spider, but she is reincarnated as a spider in the most deepest fucking high level dungeon at the pits of fucking hell, in the very bottom of the thing.
Hey, some people get lucky. Some people get turned into a spider.
Yeah, well, it's crazy, but the progression of the story in this anime, where it goes back between her and then her classmates, and her and their classmates, and then when they tie everything together, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought that this was blah 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 blah, and they're like, nah, bro.
It's one of them mind fuckers.
And I'm like, what? So then it goes into like other stuff, and I'm like, is that who I think it is? And they're like, nah, bro. And I'm like, what? So, super, bro, it's good. It's good. And the main character, which ends up being the spider chick, even though it flashes back and forth between the different people, dude, she is so likable. She becomes likable very fast. And you kind of don't even see her as a spider anymore. You just see her as a person, which is very interesting. Like, yeah, she's a fucking spider, but when you're watching it, you don't see her as a spider anymore, which is very cool. It's very good. It's so I'm a spider. So what? Man, it's really really good. Definitely go check that out, guys. Definitely go check that out. Well, that's my last one.
All right, that's 10 easy guys.
All right, well those are 10 easy Isekais for you guys to go check out that are bomb.
A lot of these too are very short. A lot of these are one season, so you can watch them in a day. You can watch them in an afternoon even.
Yep.
I think Log Horizon is probably the longest one we have on here.
3 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably
Jobless.
Jobless
Jobless
is coming up here.
2
yeah.
seasons.
Third coming on the way soon.
Yep,
Keep an eye out for that.
I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be fun.
Super excited for that.
We also have new season of Slime coming soon.
Yep, that's right around the corner.
We got a couple things coming out soon.
We got the Overlord movie dropping here pretty soon too.
Yep.
We're gonna go watch that in theaters. And
you guys should too. Support anime movies.
That's right. Got to support the anime movies.
Even the trash ones.
You guys hear us. You guys know.
Otherwise, we won't get any more.
That's right. And we have to make sure we keep getting those. So
I mean, well, unless you guys are really fun pirates. I don't know.
Hey, you might be a pirate of the Caribbean.
Hey, maybe you just like to sail the seas.
Or you
do
could
a little plunder.
You could be a pirate of the bay too.
Could be.
You know,
could be.
You never know.
You never know.
So
either way, watch the fucking movie.
Watch it. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely hit that like video, the follow video on the podcast. Come check us out on YouTube. You won't regret it. You'll have a good time with us, and you'll get to see all the content that you listened to already, but live in person. And you can see all the anime figures we have on the table and stuff like that. You'll like that too. Come check us out, guys. Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? So
you go back to listening.
Go back to listening. I don't know.
So what?
Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Peace.